White Claw Hard Seltzer, a wave of refreshment. Crafted using our unique Brew Pure process. Made pure. Nothing tastes like White Claw Hard Seltzer.
There are 4 words hockey parents love more than any other. Out-of-town tournament. And for the White Bear Lake Girls High School team, a trip up north would change everything.
We wanted to make it memorable. I mean, we wanted to have a good time, and we wanted to make it something that we were going to remember. And I didn't know it was going to end up in ways that it ended up being in.
But that's not the start of this story. No. This tale begins in a frigid Vadnais arena with a proud father who could not contain his emotions.
One of our guys was just losing his mind on the glass, and he was wearing an orange baseball cap.
Waddy was getting picked on over his frustrations over there by the commentating crew.
Check out the guy in the corner with the orange hat.
Yeah, he's every call.
Every little thing that goes wrong, he's mental.
And these commentators said, "Will you look at this guy? I think he's gonna have a cardiac arrest."
The man in the orange hat is visibly upset.
Yeah. Well, at least he's staying away from everyone.
And so we kind of took that spirit and embraced it and said, let's make our own biker gang for girls hockey.
A decision was made to establish a clandestine band of brothers, a secret society. But this fraternity would not be recognized by the tickle of a finger in a secret handshake, rather by the color of the winter caps on their heads.
That's kind of how it all originated. We came together as a group, and we decided to join in arms and create this Orange Hat Society.
Kind of fun to be a part of a group that all had a common goal. Not sure what our goal was, but, but we were all in.
A secret society, never to be spoken about, would become the protagonists of a legendary hockey story and the inaugural inductees into the Hockey Parent Hall of Fame. Minnesota is not known for its nor'easters, but this was indeed the perfect storm.
You had Hurricane Grace coming up, which I like to classify as us as the freshman parents, and you had the nor'easter south of the Canadian border a little bit coming down, and I always refer to the senior group as the nor'easters. So those two groups merged into one big mega storm. And what kept it all together and kept driving the storm getting bigger and bigger and bigger was the locked door, which was the high pressure system that held everything together for that perfect storm.
Make sure you hunker down, ride this out as best as you can. We're going to be seeing conditions get pretty bad.
It started as a normal Friday night, but quickly became so much more.
It started out as a normal parent party, and we were all in this one big, like a suite in this hotel, and everyone's having a great time.
Some shots came around and some more beers, and the joints were getting well oiled.
Probably had about 50 people in there at one point, and it went in waves.
We were in that room, it was loud, and I could see Cooper at the other end of the room talking, and all I could see was his forehead. And there was a cheese tray, and I grabbed a piece of cheese off that tray and just ripped one across the room and thunk right in the head.
I look across and there's Verkerke chucking cubes of cheese at my head and jamming to some tunes.
And it kind of turned into a 7th grade lunchroom school fight after a little bit.
What began as a typical parent party would escalate quickly, leading to several complaints from hotel management.
The hotel staff kept coming up at several times telling us to turn the radio down.
We got a complaint from across and next to you, and you're playing the music way too loud. So the door was open, and old Sheldon was behind me. I think he brought the boombox right on his shoulder. And it was like within 6 feet of this guy and jamming it. And the guy's like, that's what I'm talking about. You need to turn the music down.
No, as soon as he turns around and walks out, the manager, John, turns it up and he said, I don't care. He's like, we're going out with the bang. He said, we're doing this upright.
The guy that kept coming up looked just like Colonel Sanders.
And people from the back of the room are yelling, I love your extra crispy.
By the third time he came up, it might have been Coop's. He said, next time you come up, you better bring a bucket of chicken with you, because we're not turning it down. So
when all of that happened and he left, Sheldon's dad, Wesley, says, well, Dare and I are out of here. I don't want to be in the papers tomorrow.
But it was a locked door that would lead to true hysteria.
Well, after a long evening of people going in and out, some parents decide they wanted to leave, and the door wouldn't open.
The door was locked.
The key fob thing was completely disabled.
And from there, I know it was a phone call to the front desk and say, hey, we're actually locked in our room, not out of the room. And he's like, well, that doesn't make sense. I said, well, that's exactly the point.
Some parents started to panic. Other parents thought it was great. The music got louder.
All of a sudden, I felt like we can play the radio as loud as we want. It doesn't matter anymore.
You had moms calling front desk, screaming, crying, hysterical.
It escalated. People were drinking a lot.
One mom saying that she's diabetic, she needs insulin. Not true.
You had panic room and you had party room. And the panic room was panicking and the party room was partying, and you could go back and forth and experience both things.
Everyone was just going crazy. It's hard to explain.
With repeated calls for help left unanswered, the Orange Hat Society took things into their own capable hands.
Well, it really accumulated to a point where we had no other option.
One of the plans that started to emerge was that we were going to tie bed sheets together and we were going to send someone out the window on the roof and they were going to rappel down.
I quickly volunteered myself to be the first guinea pig.
Sheldon was going to be the hero.
He was going to scale his way down. And he was going to rescue everybody.
I think we secured it to the bed a little bit, and then the three guys held on to it, and I decided to scale down the wall.
But gravity would prove a formidable foe.
Everything's going right. Like, it's tight. He's kind of only going back one step at a time. We're both leaning into the bed sheets.
But being a middle-aged man, I quickly found out that my hands could not hold my weight.
His body weight is so far over his arm strength that he just went
right through my hands. It was all planned out in the head perfectly.
I don't know if he landed on his face or his shoulder or something, but it looked really bad. We thought he was dead. Probably, there was a good chance. It was a big fall.
So when you see that picture there,
yeah.
Want me to comment on that? Holy, that's that's what I remember. I think, right before that is when we thought he was dead.
All of our reactions were the same. We laughed. All of us laughed. And then we're grabbing our cell phones, taking pictures of him out the window. No concern for his physical being.
Yeah, it's quite ironic. Hey, let's get a picture of this. Oh, wait, are you okay down there?
And then he just popped up.
Like a cartoon, Sheldon pops up and says, I'm okay! and when he did that, oh man, we just roared.
Like a beer-soaked bug lamp, no one could resist this fiesta, even if the entrance was now a bit unorthodox.
Well, the primary mission was to get some recon with the front desk at exactly what's going on to be able to get these people out of this room. And was talking with some of the Blaine parents, and we decided at that point, me and another guy, Brooke Parent, that it sounds a lot cooler to be back in that room, so why don't we go back in the room?
Sheldon had climbed out of this hotel room on a bed sheet and came and got me. When he got to me, I was like, Sheldon, we want to be in there.
Next thing you know, there's other people down below from other cities. They're trying to scale their way up the sheets into the room through the window without using the door.
My first attempt, I made it like 4 feet and fell back down to the ground.
I do remember he tried to climb up himself, and he couldn't make it, but another guy from Blaine, he made it up just fine. So
he had no problem getting up that sheet and into the party.
It had a lot to do with the beer muscles, if you will.
Sheldon was a struggle. It was a little bit of a struggle, I remember.
He worked and swung, and his pants were halfway down. He was having a conversation or an argument with himself.
He's having a short.
I'm going down.
Go! Weak. Come on, my bear. I'm coming up. I'm coming up.
It's gonna catch me.
Ready?
You're not gonna let me fall.
Come on, Joe. Weak.
I tried my best, and it was an effort, but I believe John King, Coop, and Watson all pulled me up with the with the sheet.
I remember when I saw his head pop up, I mean, we're like, oh my gosh, and we're all like looking, and then it's not just Sheldon, but then Brooke Parent. We're like, oh my gosh, now there's a Blaine parent coming into our party. I mean, it was insane.
When one door closes, the window is still open. Later that evening, the party reached its crescendo. A fever pitch of frenzy, panic and alarm. With no way out and no end in sight, the Orange Hat Society looked for a hero within their ranks.
So at this point, it's completely out of hand.
But the Orange Hat Society can find a way, and we did find a way.
Coop's calves are about that big. That might be an under-exaggeration. They might be bigger than that.
He has the biggest calves of like any human.
Popeye calves, if you want to call them.
And so I think we like voted that he was gonna kick it.
I think I sat there for about an hour looking at the door, wondering if I was able to take it down.
I look over, and Coop's, he is backed up to the door like a donkey, and he's starting to give the door, this commercial grade fireproof door, a couple kicks.
And we just kind of watched in somewhat amusement. No one tried to stop him, and no one really said anything to him, because when someone's, at that point, I don't think you want to get in between him and the door.
And I didn't stop. Perseverance. I went 25, 30 kicks, and all of a sudden, my foot went through. I think I got some scars on my legs, but...
He smashed through that door. I mean, I've never seen a door bust in so many pieces.
It wasn't an easy door to kick down. I'll tell you that. It was impressive.
I don't remember seeing it happen. I just heard a bunch of like, oh my gosh, and screaming, and
we were screaming. We were like, oh my God, we're free.
And from there, it was, if you could fit through a little small area, you were out.
A series of swift kicks would form an exit, and a legend would be born.
Yeah, we basically did a tuck and roll.
Yeah.
Tuck and roll through the lower part of the door, and took off.
We weren't there for the police when they arrived.
So that's when the cops come.
I do remember hearing their quote, which I thought was hilarious, when they got there, thinking, we thought we were called to a bunch of teenagers in the hotel. We had no idea there were going to be grown adults here. And I just thought that was awesome.
And I actually remember sitting in the room for a while after everyone left, looking around at the disaster that just took place. Food everywhere, broken door, open window, screen off the window, sheets hanging out the window, and just looked around and said, my God, what have we done?
law enforcement arrived, but not before one souvenir had already left the scene.
For some reason, I took the wood.
He saw something in that wood and knew that we could create something out of it later on.
I remember I called this cabinet maker. What's that guy's name?
Jeff.
I called Jeff and I go, Jeff, I got a strange one for you. I need you to make coasters out of this broken door from a hotel room up in Grand Rapids. And he just said, I don't know that I should know anything else, but just drop the wood at my place.
John King transformed them into coasters for your cocktails.
The tradition was for the dads to bring these to the pre-games, and we would set our coasters up and have our drinks using these coasters before every game.
I wish that I was fortunate enough to have one. I've been looking on eBay forever. At some point, I think that it's just going to have to be, part of the estate. When one of these guys passes, the only way I'm probably going to get one.
Years later, the true meaning would be revealed.
Now this photo is a little different memory.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, so we got some champions on ice. We got some Mighty Bears on ice there.
Man, that was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was a David versus Goliath moment.
Unexpected.
So unexpected. And our girls, they showed every ounce of character that you could imagine.
To see them when we were in New York and they...
Yeah.
The girls finally made it to state, and we thought OHS should be involved in that because that's what OHS was all about.
That little token there, that door, is a symbol of all the fun that everybody had, the parents and the kids.
As bonds formed, that fateful Friday night showed ice is indeed stronger than oak.
In the end, our biker gang of girls hockey did okay. Hockey in Minnesota, you're going to be underground for 6 months. You better like the people you're going to be with, or it's a pretty long winter.
Like you said, it's your family for 6 months out of the year.
And now that we're on the other end of it and we're done, it's like, I feel like a piece is missing. I don't know, I miss all that group a ton.
Yeah. But just some of the traditions and the friendships that we developed through this experience has been the absolute best. You don't get that in baseball, you don't get that in basketball. You only get that in hockey in Minnesota.
The Orange Hat Society isn't in the Hockey Parent Hall of Fame because of a mule kick or a broken door. Rather, a reminder that fellowship, friendship, and fatherhood are all more important than the score. And that sometimes, to make a memory, you need to knock, knock, knock on heaven's door.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever be topped, to tell you the truth. Like I said, it was the perfect storm. You had a group of parents that loved to hang out, and we got locked in a room together. What could happen, right?
White Claw Hard Seltzer, a wave of refreshment. Crafted using our unique Brew Pure process. Made pure. Nothing tastes like White Claw Hard Seltzer.